This call is being recorded.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be with you this morning. I cannot believe it that the month of January is almost over. That is hard for me to believe. This is Tammy Nichols, and you are on the Business Builder Call this morning. It is January 27th. We've got 5 more days to make things happen in our business that we want to happen. And our 2 incredible leaders, who I was just so blessed to spend time with on the cruise with our last incentive trip, is Laura Bratcher and Audra Hooper. These girls are incredible leaders building amazing businesses out of that. I want to just call the Metroplex, the Dallas area. They're in areas right outside of that for our purposes, location-wise, they're right outside of Dallas. And they are both incredible leaders, leading from their heart, building strong businesses, always sharing, always giving, and I cannot wait to hear from them. So without further ado, I'm turning the call over to you girls. Be ready to have your pen and paper in hand and to take notes. So it's all yours, girls.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and introduction. And yes, our cruise together was awesome. Everybody needs to work hard and be on the next trip with us. So today's Business Builder Call, and I am especially excited about the opportunity to
Excuse me just a minute, Laura. Laura, excuse me just a minute. You are coming in and out, and I'm not sure if you're on a headset or what, but you're coming in and out.
I'm dialed in on my computer. Is it working now?
I can hear you now, but you were beeping in and out. So let's go ahead and try again.
Okay. Hopefully we'll be okay. Okay. So I was saying that Audra and I are super excited to lead today's call. This is actually the first time I've had the opportunity to lead this call. For the first several years that I've been with Wine Shop, I have worked a full-time job. And now because of Wine Shop, I've been able to cut down to part-time, so I get to be on this call more regularly with all of you who are wanting to take your business to the next level. So this morning, Audra and I are going to be talking about the importance of opening and closing our tastings, as well as intentional language, along with the importance of confidence. As you may have heard before, or if you are new to this business, the most important aspects of your wine tasting are the opening and the closing. You can forget to talk about our stemware and personalized labels. You can read the notes of a wine and realize you are reading the wrong notes for the wine you are trying. You can even have a host that bought jalapeno and dill flavored cheeses despite your best host coaching. But if you have a confident and well thought out and delivered opening and closing, you will still have a successful tasting. Everything else that happens in the middle doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as the guests know what they're there for, what to expect, and of course, as long as they have fun. The beauty of our business is that there isn't a right or wrong way to do your opening and closing. It's just that you have one. You want to make it your own. Use your story and your why. This will be a work in progress, and it will change over time. If you aren't sure what your why is, or your story is still developing, that's okay. Lean on your upline and use other people's stories until you have your own. For example, when I first started, my opening included Suzanne's story. I talked about how I attended my first wine tasting while homeschooling her boys and doing this business on the side. She was able to save up enough money to pay cash for all 4 of her boys' college educations. In fact, I still use her story sometimes along with my own. Your opening should be short and sweet. Your guests are ready to start tasting, so you don't want to go on and on. Grab the guest's attention with a catchy story as to who you are and what they are to expect that evening. So my opening goes a little something like this. Hi, everyone. I think I made it around to introduce once again. My name is Laura, and I will be your wine consultant this evening. I want to first start out by raising a glass to Sally for hosting this tasting for us tonight. Thank you so much, Sally, and cheers. At my tasting, we always pour the sparkling and do a toast or a wine wave or whatever works best in the space we are in. Before we go any further, do me a favor and pull out your interest form that is on your tasting board and fill out the top section with your name, address, email, and cell phone. I have found that I can read everyone's handwriting a lot better if you fill out this at the beginning instead of the end. So tonight we're going to have some fun. We are going to be trying 6 different wines from our winery in Napa, California. We will pair the wines with different cheeses, chocolate, and spicy crackers, and we'll share some fun wine facts. I'll tell you more about our amazing winemaker, Alex, more about our winery and how our wines are different from store-bought wines, as well as our VIP monthly wine club. At the end of the tasting, you will have the opportunity to purchase your favorite wines that you tried tonight or any of the wines on our current wine menu. And you will also have the chance to book your own in-home wine tasting with some of your wine-loving friends. And last but not least, as we go through the tasting and you find yourself thinking, wow, this looks like a lot of fun, how can I be a wine consultant? Let me know and we can chat more after the tasting. There are some great benefits of being a wine consultant. Sorry about my dogs. There are some great benefits of being a wine consultant. All expense paid luxury trips and awesome tax deductions. And there's so much more, and I'll fill you in on that as we go. I've been a consultant with Wine Shop at Home for over 5 years. I attended a wine tasting years ago, just like you all are doing this evening. This is still my part-time gig. During the day, I'm a dentist, and I'm also a single mom with 2 very active boys, which is one of the reasons I drink a lot of wine. I like to say that being a wine consultant has balanced out my psyche because most people do not like the dentist, but everyone loves the wine lady. Lastly, I'm not a professional wine connoisseur. Instead, I consider myself a professional wine taster. So if there's anyone here that knows a lot about wine, let me know so we can pick your brain throughout the night. As a side note, I don't always say that, but I did say that a lot in the beginning when I was first starting out and nervous. So if you are a new consultant, you may want to include something like that in your opening. I do save all the details about the winery, how our wines are low in sulfites and don't cause headaches, how our wine club works, etc. I save those details for during the tasting. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to Audra, who's going to talk to us about closing a tasting as well as using intentional language.
Thanks, Laura. That was awesome. All right, well, this is Audra. If you don't know me, I've been with Wine Shop for about 4.5 years, and I am one of Laura's downlines. Assuming that you rocked your opening with all the awesome tips that Laura just gave you, and you sprinkled intentional language throughout your tasting, your close really should be a breeze. A lot of people are intimidated by the close, but honestly, it doesn't need to be scary or uncomfortable for you or your guests. Before I talk about some intentional language you can use when closing out your tasting, here are a few tips to make the whole thing painless and smooth. First of all, be confident. If you still aren't confident in your close, then fake it. And by that, I don't mean be fake, but if you don't feel confident, then the best way to build confidence is to practice. Confidence is so important. Does your body language, eye contact, facial expression, and tone convey that you believe in your product, pricing, and experience you just provided for the group? It absolutely should. We have the best wines and value around, and everyone there came to enjoy it and buy it. You were the bonus gift that made them laugh, taught them a little, and guided them through a fun social experience that they couldn't get anywhere else. Second, be prepared for your close before the tasting even starts. Make sure you have available dates handy as well as any visuals you like to use during the close right at your fingertips. The transition into the close will be seamless and easy, guiding guests straight to the order form and booking calendar with ease. One thing I want you to hear me on is this. Guests want to be told what to do. This may all be second nature to us, but for them, they most likely went from never hearing the name Wine Shop at Home before to the history of the company, our winemaker, you, wine club, personalized wines, stemware. They tasted 5 to 7 wines. They're thinking about booking, considering doing your job, And now it's decision-making time, all in the course of an hour. They're relaxed, they're in a good mood, and honestly, maybe a touch overwhelmed by the choices. You are there to serve them and help them. Now let's dive into intentional language. It starts with your intent and your posture, meaning it's as much about what you don't say as it is about what you say. Carry that confidence into your close and be you-centered, not me-centered. Yes, this is your business. Of course, you want to make sales, get bookings, recruit your next rock star, but your intention in that moment needs to be about them. How can you help them? You're their partner in this. You're here to make sure they get the best deal, understand how the ordering and booking process will go, and see how this business might really be something good for them. People can read your intention even if it's on a subconscious level. Assuming you're being genuine in your desire to serve them, your language during the close can mean the difference between a mediocre tasting and a fantastic one. After the last wine is served and I'm ready to transition into my close, I thank them all for a wonderful time, thank the host again for gathering his or her friends for such a fun evening, and I grab an interest form and direct their attention back to theirs. I personally have already highlighted the main points I'm going to hit on so their eyes can follow exactly what I'm saying. I will say something like, I know you're all dying to know how you can get all your favorite new wines delivered to your doorstep. I'm so glad you asked. There are a couple ways for you to do just that. You see this gray box right here? This is where you join our wine club. Like I said before, if you're an adventurous wine drinker or simply want the best value, this is going to be for you. Simply choose 2 or 4 bottles a month in your color, reds, whites, or a combo of the two. You'll get our wines each month at a flat discounted rate. Like I said, no contract, and it's totally flexible, meaning you're free to change up the color and quantity anytime, skip months if you like, or stop with no fees. Sally here is going to get half off her first shipment just for hosting this tasting today. If you notice, I'm lighthearted but assumptive. I use when you host your wine tasting and not if. I use adventurous wine drinker and best value to reiterate the selections are a surprise and this is their best deal. I look guests in the eyes when confirming wine club is for them. Lastly, I make the assumption the host will join because, she's getting half off her first month. I go on to say, outside of wine club, you can purchase any of the wines on the menu a la carte. Over here on these white lines is where you'll let me know the type and the quantity. For your very best deal tonight, mix and match a case or half case. I'm shaking my head yes and making eye contact around the room as I emphasize this is how they will get their best deal tonight. We've already discussed their consumption earlier, so they realized that they drink a half case or a case a lot quicker than they probably realized before. Since I know you're all dying to invite your friends over for a wine tasting, I have an even better deal for you when you choose your tasting date today. Language, when, and today. Not only will Sally be getting 3 items at half off after 2 of you host your own wine tasting, you will get $10 off your order at your tasting. I don't know about you, but wine discounts are my favorite. Now, at this point, I've already gone over how hosting works, what they will get, because I sprinkle that in throughout my tasting. But if you haven't, you can talk about it here or simply recap. Again, for $39, you'll get 6 bottles of wine shipped straight to your door for your tasting, just like Sally did. This includes shipping, and you'll also get this awesome host thank you bottle, just like Sally did today. I have my available dates here on this clipboard, so I'll pass it around as I work with each of you individually to get your orders placed. Simply write your name in one of the highlighted squares to reserve your date. And finally, because I have the best job in the world, check this box in the upper right-hand corner if you'd be interested in learning more about what I do. This doesn't obligate you to anything, but if you're curious to learn more about the business side of what I do, I'm happy to share some info with you later, when you're sober. I love using the phrase, learn more about the business side. It reiterates this is a business. They can learn more with no obligation, and I'm not using the language join my team or recruit. We have a rapport now. We're friends. I'm letting them in on the insider info and how they too can earn money sharing wine with others. Finally, I had so much fun with you all today. Thank you for your attention and participation. I'll stick around for about 15 minutes and help you all with your orders. I'm happy to give you a second pour of your favorite as you're completing your orders. Then I go around the room and individually work with each person completing the full service checkout. There are plenty of training calls about the full service checkout, but basically it's asking each person directly about purchasing wine, joining our wine club, booking a tasting, and becoming a consultant. I don't assume that they don't want any of those things just because they didn't indicate it on their form. Go through the form as if it's your job to ask about all the sections of the interest form. Intentional language continues here too. For example, how can I help you with your order instead of do you want to order anything? If they have wines written down but they didn't choose a date for their tasting, I ask, when would you like to have your own wine tasting? If they say no, this is your opportunity to dig a little deeper and find out the objection. Many times it is something that can be overcome, or at the very least, they're a person you can contact in the future for a booking. If they did not check the box to join Wine Club, I still ask if they would like to check out the Wine Club for a couple months. Again, check it out for a couple months sounds less like a formal commitment than join the Wine Club. As you become more seasoned and comfortable with the closing process, you'll be able to quickly identify opportunities to maximize their order for them and for you. For example, if they have 5 bottles on their order, would you like to grab just one more bottle and make it a half case and save on shipping? Don't get overly hung up on the words that you say, though. A few tweaks here and there can and do go a long way, but don't underestimate the power of a warm smile, enthusiasm, confidence, and a personal connection with each guest. Those things, along with a few tweaks of when instead of if, case instead of bottle, how can I help you instead of do you want to, can greatly influence the success of your tastings. That's all I got, Tammy.
Well, it was amazing. I knew it would be. So, girls, this call, wow, what any of us would have done that had this call when we first started our business. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Very powerful language for opening and for closing. Notice both of the girls really reiterated the importance of confidence and having fun at your wine tasting. So as soon as you embrace that, the language will come. But anybody that's new, and this call really is typically, let me just clarify something. This call is very typically for business builders, but it could be anybody at any stage of their business. They could have just started yesterday, but you knew you wanted to start a business. The language for this morning's call was scheduled for Monday Night Live for this evening. Cindy Irving was scheduled this morning for a business builder call because she very much has a call this evening geared for leaders. But as life would have it, Sandy had an emergency come up with her son, and luckily the girls were able to switch calls. And that's the beauty of this team. That's the beauty of this flexibility on this team specifically. I want to say that. So with me saying that, I want to encourage all of you to be on the Monday Night Live call tonight, because Sandy is going to roll out a program that she's doing with her team that I've asked her to share with all of us for the upcoming month. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, and it's going to help everybody to achieve their goals and to get on board for Jamaica real quickly. So please join us tonight on the Monday Night Live. I just wanted to explain to you why the girls switched, and I also wanted to share with you that's why we are in this business together, because sometimes we need help from each other, and sometimes we need the flexibility. So again, this morning's call was really scheduled for Monday Night Live. Tonight's call was really scheduled for Business Builder, but because everybody was flexible and open to helping each other out, we were able to make it happen. But again, join us tonight on Monday Night Live for this call so that you can hear Sandy's idea of how to help all of us get on the trip quicker. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much, Audra. The call is amazing. Let me just see. Margie, are there any questions on the board? Do we want to open it up here? We've got a couple of minutes if we would like to open it up and have questions.
I don't see any.
Okay,
Can you
no
hear me?
questions. Okay.
Yeah, no question.
Yes. Okay.
There's a few comments, Marge. You want me to read them since you're on your phone?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, Sandy Hancock just said, great tips. I couldn't keep up. Will you post your opening and closing statements on the Facebook page? And Laura said she's happy to do that. And Kathy
Awesome.
said, I can't wait to share this with my team. And Suzanne Greco said, such a great call, you two. So many tips. I agree. Great call, girls.
Excellent. So, yes, if you would share that on the Monday Night Live crew page, that would be awesome. And then all of the leaders can get that out to their team. So it was a fantastic call. I picked up some tips. And how many tastings have I done? On my word, don't even know. But I picked up some great tips. So I know every single person did. You always will. If you come to these calls with an open heart and an open mind and a pen and paper, you will pick up tips. I don't care how long you've been in this business. So I want to encourage all of us to do that. So kudos to you for being on the call this morning. I'm very excited about seeing everybody in Jamaica, because I will tell you, those of us who were on the cruise had the best time. And I heard so many times, I could name names right now because I can hear the conversations right now, that they will never miss a Wine Shop and Home trip. So I'm very excited to see all of us in Jamaica. So let's just make a huge effort to all be on these calls together every week. We've got 2 opportunities every Monday, AM and PM, and we can make this happen together. So have a great Monday, guys. Again, we've got 5 days to make things happen, and we're wrapping up this period qualifications, and then the next period qualifications start February the 1st. So let's do everything we can to make things happen for first period Jamaica now, because we've got 5 days to do it. We can make a lot of things happen. Thank you again, girls, and we'll see you tonight on Monday Night Live. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.